Arrow Video brings to 4K and Blu-ray. You can get a 4K or you can get a Blu-ray. The 1966 William Shatner starring Esperanto film Incubus, directed by Leslie Stevens, who was known for creating and writing a lot of Outer Limits episodes, and this feels a lot like an Outer Limits episode, and tons of 60s TV with William Shatner, as I said, Allyson, Ames, and Eloise Hardt. Cinematographer was Conrad Hall. It's a really strong team that got together to make this film. This weird curiosity. It's a film that over the years it was a lost movie for a long time. And then it came out in, I think, 2001 on WinStar Entertainment, put out a DVD and a VHS copy. And it was a movie that everybody laughed about because William Shatner, haha, Esperanto movie. If you don't know Esperanto, it was a created language long ago that the creator of said language had the idea of, let's create a language that can be international, that anybody everywhere can learn, and it's not, bound by national ideology or region or culture. It's just this, people can speak know Esperanto in every country in the world and get together and speak it. So this is one of the few films, at least at the time, made in Esperanto, and I think it's really good. Everybody laughs about, the William Shatner Esperanto movie, and I finally watched it, and I'm like, this is really good. This is creepy. This has this weird, fairy tale isn't the right word, but the basic story goes a little something like this. There's a well. It's like the countryside. I think they said they shot it in like a Big Sur National Park in California. Grassy countryside, big open sky, sunny days, and there's this well under this tree, and it's said if you drink from this well, it will heal you or make you beautiful. The downside to that is there are two succubus sisters who kind of hang out near the well, and if any men come to drink from it, they allure the men, they trap the men, they bewitch the men with love and loveliness, and take them out. So you may not want to drink from the well when you know about that. So the way it goes is that Shatner is somebody who drinks from the well, is bewitched by one of these succubi, and will he or will he not fall prey to her spell and her deadliness is the story. Spoken in Esperanto with English subtitles. It also has actually Esperanto SDH subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and or you could just watch it in Esperanto. If you speak Esperanto, you don't want any of that crap on the screen. I will say this was taken from the only known surviving print, which was a French language print, so occasionally you do see subtitles, and you can watch it two ways. You can watch it widescreen, 16:9, that fills the frame and looks perfectly composed. Occasionally with that, you will see just the very top of a subtitle, original French subtitle poking up that was burned into the print, because in the 4:3 version, you might see 2 lines of text or something. I believe the original release of this, I want to say it was 4:3, and this is widescreen. It looks good either way. The other subtitles don't really distract because half the time you're reading the English subtitles anyway. And really nicely shot, really well performed. This is Shatner right when he was about to start Star Trek, so he looks like Kirk in black and white. And it's just really creepy. It's really dreamlike. It reminded me a lot of Night Tide, if you know Night Tide, and other films of that era that are a little kind of wispy, a little dreamy, a little bit like a fairy tale, a little bit like a nightmare. There are some really sort of disturbing imagery in this film, but overall it's just really good. There's not a lot I can say about it. I don't want to get into the story too much or where the story goes, but it goes to some disturbing places, and it's just expertly shot by people who worked for studios and knew what they were doing in their day. So I recommend checking out Incubus however you can. This disc looks gorgeous, as good as it's going to look. It's the only surviving print, and it's in 4K or Blu-ray. The Blu-ray will look as good as your TV can make it, and if you can watch 4K, it'll look a little sharper than that. The contents of the discs are identical between the two, so if you pick up the Blu-ray and say, oh no, am I missing 4K special features? You're not, and vice versa. Once in a while, you'll see a release where a company will make it a 2-disc set in one package, and the Blu-ray might have more extras than the 4K because they devote more of the storage space and bit rate on the 4K to the film itself than the extras. This isn't the case. It's all there. The film isn't that long either. It's 74 minutes. So to get through the extras and the multiple commentaries, not really a major time commitment. The extras here go a little something. Well, they go exactly like this. We have commentary by David J. Scow from 2024, who is the person who hosted all the extras on the 2001 version. You get all the extras from the 2001 version as well. So we get the William Shatner commentary from 2001, which is very interesting and very insightful. And he is dryly goofy at times. Like, he keeps talking about thinking that the film had been cursed by some hippie that was on set one night and put a curse on them and something like that. And he also talks about other things that are pretty seriously, I think, tongue-in-cheek. The only downside is there are a lot of long gaps. So there are long stretches where you're just listening to the movie, which I'm not a fan of in a commentary. There is a commentary by Anthony Taylor, producer Conrad L. Hall, and William Fraker, who shot the film, hosted by David J. Scow. That's from 2001. Excellent commentary that gives you everything you want to know about the making of the film and how they did what they did in it. You get an isolated score track that is newly reconstructed for this release. You get an open map presentation, as I talked about before, so it's 4:3, and you get a little bit more information on the top and the bottom, and you'll see those French subtitles along the bottom. You get Words and Worlds, Incubus and Esperanto in Cinema, with, as I like to say, my close personal friend, legendary comic artist S.R. Bissett, Steve Bissett, who's been doing a lot of Blu-ray work lately. Always excellent. He discusses the film and its place in film horror and Esperanto language cinema. That's 43 minutes. You get Internacia Levingo, probably mispronounced, A History of Esperanto with Esther M. Shore, author of Bridge of Words, Esperanto and the Dream of a Universal Language. She discusses the history of Esperanto, which is really interesting, and she discusses the history of Esperanto, the language that is spoken in Incubus. That's 22 minutes. You get carried over from the 2001 WinStar release, interview with the makers of Incubus. Genre historian and screenwriter novelist David J. Scow interviews producer Anthony Taylor, cinematographer Conrad L. Hall, and camera operator William Fraker about the making of Incubus. That's about 15 minutes or so. It's very good. Video trailer from the 2001 release. It's 2.5 minutes. It's 4:3 standard def. It's very jokey, which I didn't care for its tone, because I actually think this movie is good. And it takes the tone of a, long thought lost William Shatner in Esperanto. It's like a jokey, over-the-top, retro 50s style trailer for this film with splashy visuals or splashy graphics and things, which it's amusing when you watch it, but it also sets somebody up to want to laugh at the movie, which I don't think is worth laughing at. I think the movie's actually quite good. So I don't have the packaging. I know this comes with cool stuff and tuck-ins as the Arrow discs do, but I don't get that version of the disc. So I can just tell you what's on the actual disc yourself if you're watching it. It's very good. 1966's Esperanto language William Shatner film, Incubus.